Hello, everybody. My name is Amanda Gorman, and I'm the inaugural poet. I'm really excited to be here in celebration of Lift Every Voice. For me, the Los Angeles Public Library has had such a pivotal role in my life, in my discovery of poetry. For one, it was at the library's Mark Taper Auditorium downtown in which I was first named the inaugural Los Angeles Youth Poet Laureate. Even during COVID, when so many libraries have been shut down, the Central Library was gracious enough for me to come in and let me film a poem called The Miracle of Mourning as a type of commentary on the pandemic. As well, the Library Foundation has been basically an extension of my family for me. They've been in my life for years now, before I was United States Youth Poet Laureate, before I was well known. And, my mom has met the staff, my sister has met some staff members. And so for me, this is really a homecoming. And I am so honored and thrilled to be here, albeit virtually, alongside some of, my heroes in the arts, whether it be Kevin, Chris, Robin, Safia. You all are just, the pinnacles of your craft. And so I am so just touched to be here. I'm going to be reading two poems, one of which is from the anthology, and the other is one of my own poems. I thought I would begin with the poem in the anthology, and so I'm reading The Negro Speaks of Rivers by Langston Hughes. The reason I'm reading this, although it's a bit short, is because I remember distinctly reading it for the first time, I want to say in elementary school, and it was really my first foray into African-American literature. I want to say one of the first poems by a Black author that I'd read. And so for me, it has a very kind of sentimental place in just my own self-discovery as a writer. And I think beyond that, it's just such a lush, beautiful poem, just so economically smart. And so I thought I would begin with that. The Negro Speaks of Rivers. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans. I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Thank you. That is my first poem. Again, like I said, it's just so beautiful, so gorgeous. It is a bit concise, but for me, I love the play of imagery, the use of water and rivers, which in, Black folklore, Black song, Negro spirituals has such a central place. The next poem I'm going to read actually has a connection to one of our panelists for this event, Kevin Young. This poem I wrote as a coda to Black History Month for the New York Times, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. And for me, I was struggling really difficultly to find an approach to writing this poem. I just felt like it was so challenging to try to say something new about race 250 years in. And instead of trying to kind of force myself to superficially say something new, I invited myself to repeat and embody something very old. And so what I did is I didn't physically go, but I looked at the exhibitions and the digital archival materials of the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture, which Kevin is the director of. Phenomenal job. And I looked at kind of the images of protest banners, flyers, pins, any type of text that was used in the civil rights movement. Looking at even shirts that were worn, just anything that had words and language. And I wrote all of them down and basically collaged this poem. And so the rules that I set for myself was I wasn't going to take a statement that I saw in, these archives and like really taint it and break it up, meaning if the phrase was something like, trying to think of one from the poem. One of them is, let's just say the title, Old Jim Crow Got to Go. I can't take go out of there and just put it randomly in a new place. It has to stay as a unit of sound as it appeared in that pin or on that flyer. So really trying to preserve the units of meaning from those original source materials, but weave them and collage them in a way in which hopefully they embody something kind of new sonically. So this poem, like I said, is taken from all of those materials, not only from the civil rights movement, I should say. I looked a bit to slavery and even wanted posters as well. I looked also as well to the role of Black women in the women's rights movement, which isn't highlighted enough, Black women, I should say, in that kind of intersectionality of that movement. And so you're going to hear a lot of text from multiple sides of social justice organizing and even the words and the rhetoric that was used against African Americans through slavery and kind of through those time periods. This is called Old Jim Crow Got to Go. Whose face is white as snow, everywhere a daisy goes, no dogs, no Negro, I am a man. I am the way I am, I look the way I look, I am my age. I am a man. Black Power Core, Malcolm X speaks for me. He died to make men free. Malcolm's legacy, one man, one vote, SNCC. Don't you want to be free? I'm for King's Way, watch your backs, kill all blacks, run King out of Alabama, cooking and smoking, where we at, black males and endangered species. A perspective on solidarity, Black is beautiful, free, Angela Davis. Now liberation in the making, Angela is free, free all political prisoners, 50% Black woman artist, revolutionary hope, Shirley Chisholm. Unbiased and unbought, anatomy of the Black aesthetic, an examination, Nikki Giovanni, critic, go home, Harriet Tubman home. She allegedly has purchased several guns in the past, considered possibly armed and dangerous. Small scars on both knees, eyes brown, race, Negro, nationality, American. What are girls made of? Catalyst for change, I believe, in Anita Hill, age 26, height 5'8", hair black, occupation teacher. Woman, free our sisters. What can a girl do? What have women done? What can you do? End racism and repression. Testimony from a Black sister marks the beginning of a new era in the minds, in the hearts, in the lives of all Black men and women. Get it? Together. We march with Selma. The moonwalk won't be as bad as our walk. Move on over, or we'll move on over you. Lifting as we climb, we shall overcome. Freedom, ride, core, keep us flying, keep us flying. Don't you want to be free? Liberty and equality, they shall not die. Thank you so much for listening to my 2 poems I read today. Like I said, it's just been such an honor for me to be part of this event, even in all this kind of craziness of COVID and things like that. The Library Foundation, the Los Angeles Public Library, have been such great patrons and supporters of me. And like I said, the other artists who are here today virtually are just phenomenal. So thank you for listening, and I'm really looking forward to reading this anthology in full. Have a good one. Bye.